Hi, I'm in the south end of Bloomfield in a community called Watsessing Heights, and it is zoned for Watsessing Elementary School, and it also happens to be my neighborhood. And I am here with two of my neighbors and friends, Bibi Bell and Tony DeBono, and we are talking today about their experience with the Bloomfield school system. So thanks, guys, for talking to me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
So Tony, I'll start with you. You have a daughter who just graduated from Bloomfield High School last year.
Yep, she's in college.
Oh, that's exciting. Where's she going?
She goes to Montclair State
Excellent,
University.
excellent.
And we moved here when she was about to start first grade.
Oh, great.
And so we looked at a lot of towns and a lot of schools. And what we really loved about Watsessing, because the principal at the time gave us a tour, and it's such a cute old school. It's over 100 years old. So, but what we really loved about it was its diversity, because we weren't looking for, all one type. we wanted a taste of the world,
Sure.
And what's great about the school for us, or what really attracted us, was the fact that she wasn't in the majority, she wasn't in the minority, she was just one of, really, yes, there are black kids, there are Hispanic kids, there are Indian kids, there are Korean kids. It's really a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
There are kids who are in the lower end of, economic level, and there are, kids whose parents do very well.
Mm-hmm.
We're sort of in the middle. But we just loved exposing our kid to what her world is going to be. And that was very important to us.
And what did you think going through, as she went through the middle school and high school, how was the experience there?
Well, middle school was scary for her because it was middle school.
Right.
And, we've
For
got
any kid,
all these elementary schools. I believe there's 9.
I think there are about 9 elementaries.
Right.
They all blend into one middle school.
Yeah, so you go from a tiny little school
Yeah.
where you've known the same kids for 6 years, with Bibi at 7, because their kids went to kindergarten there
Right.
as well. But you go from this little tiny sort of safe place where everybody knows you, and then suddenly you're in this giant school where you're seeing kids you've never met before. So it's really intimidating. Although Kathleen, she did okay. She was still in mostly honors classes. Math wasn't really her strong suit. But then she went into high school, and what was great about the high school is that they have so many clubs and groups where you can find your identity. She's she's very interested in theater, and they had a great theater department and just really great mentors that she'll never forget. And that took her into her major in college. She's a musical theater major.
So that's great.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with it. You have to be involved.
Yeah.
I don't care where your kid goes, but you have to be involved in their schooling. Mm-hmm. It could be the top of the line private school. You still have to know what your kid's doing.
Absolutely.
And you have to know what the kids around her are doing. I was home and school president for 2 years, and Bibi was secretary for 1,000 years, I think. Or treasurer. Sorry, treasurer. And it was actually very inspiring. I started it, I don't want to do this, I got roped in, but I actually really ended up enjoying it. It was very fulfilling, and there are great kids there.
Yeah, and being there firsthand and meeting all the kids and meeting all the teachers, you have a different perspective of it. And
Absolutely.
it's just, really great being involved.
Nice. Well, tell me about your 2 daughters. You have one graduating this year.
Yes.
And then one who is in the middle school right
Middle
now.
school,
Yeah.
That's right. So my oldest, we moved here from Brooklyn, and what brought us to this particular area of Bloomfield was the proximity to the train station.
Yes.
And the diversity of the school. We came from Brooklyn. We wanted something like that, not necessarily smaller. The high school is, I think, 2,000 students.
Something like
that, which really gives them, it sounds so big, but it really gives them access to so many opportunities that they wouldn't have in a smaller school. The elementary school was fantastic. Sophie started in kindergarten. She's now in 8th grade. The middle school, I think, like Tony said, it's a bit of a shock to the system because you have all those schools in one for the first time. But there are so many opportunities in Bloomfield for the kids to meet before they go there. With the rec department, they played soccer, basketball.
They have the enrichment program as well, where
which
they
is
can meet.
another really great way for the kids to sort of cross-pollinate. You meet kids from all the other elementary schools. There's a program in each school. It carries through the middle school onto the high school. Both of my daughters participated in the program. It's fantastic. They have.
Well, your daughters participated in sports too.
And they did as well, absolutely. That's another opportunity for
Right.
the kids to meet each other. They, the town has a recreation department which runs sports programs not affiliated with the school. And it's more, just for the kids to meet each other, to have exposure to the sport. It's semi-competitive, but it's at a rec level where the kids just get to play on Saturdays. You get to meet other families from other schools. And the kids get to meet each other. So when they get to the middle school, it's not that overwhelming. You know somebody from Brookdale or Franklin or Demarest because you were on the same team maybe when you were playing soccer, or you played against them in basketball. So it's nice. It's a good introduction. The middle school has improved so much since we've moved to this town.
Right.
They've really put a big focus on the school by adding resources, principal, 2 assistants, I think, just recently, whereas it used to be just 1 assistant. So they're really doing all that they can on their end to improve.
And there's a new superintendent too.
Right,
who came out of the school system.
Oh, right. That's
so
correct.
he's
That's
not
right,
coming, coming into the town from some other place who doesn't know the personality and the problems and the good things about the town.
And he was principal at the middle school. So
That's right. He took over for a particularly an administration that wasn't working so well.
Okay.
And he came in and he really did fix. Unfortunately, he came in when my daughter was in 8th grade, so she didn't really get to benefit from it as much. But he really turned the middle school around quite a bit. But again, I can't stress enough. It's public school, but you have to be involved.
Absolutely, 100%. You have to be involved, whether it's volunteering through the school, being home and school president, actively fundraising, going to the meetings. You don't even have to be a member. You can just go to the meetings and hear what's going on and ask questions. Yeah. They're very open that way.
I remember talking to a parent. I was having a yard sale with another Watsessing parent. And a parent from the neighboring town said, "Oh, you send your kids to Bloomfield?" "Oh, I would never send my child to Bloomfield. I send my child to this other town." And I went, "Oh, well, what's wrong with Bloomfield? Their kids are both on the honor roll, and, everything's great." And she said, "Oh, but the schools in my town, I mean, in elementary school, they teach the children when it's appropriate to say, 'I love you.'"
Oh.
And I said, "Well, we actually do that enough." So it depends on what kind of school you're looking for. If you want them to teach your child when it's appropriate to say, "I love you."
Right. But if you're confident with doing that at home on your own,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then your experience with the high school. So
the high school has been fantastic. Yeah. My oldest is just a year behind Kathleen, or 2 years behind Kathleen?
A year.
A year.
Yeah.
She did play sports. She played soccer all through high school, so that sort of gave her a nice...
That wasn't really Kathleen's strong suit.
And I'm not sure it will be Sophie's, but it definitely was Olivia's. And that also exposes you to another community, the sports community, not just soccer. The entire sports department, they're very involved with them academically as well, making sure that they're doing well in school, so it wasn't just soccer. But she did well academically as well. She is now going to college, not going to be playing soccer, which is too bad for us. Yeah, exactly. No scholarships. But she's going off to University of South Florida, and she did really well at the high school, as I said. For the 4 years that she was there, it's been very consistent as far as the principal, Ms. Jennings. He's fantastic. I don't know. Again, the gifted and talented, which was the academic program, the enrichment, continued there. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities in the high school. My daughter's been participating with the Special Olympics with one of her teachers, and it has changed her life. And as far as volunteering, it's not something she was really interested in before. They do some of the actual events at Brookdale Park, which is here, and they go there, and it changes them. It's an amazing experience.
And if you're looking at the school system only insofar as their testing scores, and you're comparing it to another town, you have to delve deeper. The federal testing scores will not tell you what the school is about, because we've got such diversity. We have so many kids, especially in this part of town, that come here not speaking a word of English.
Right.
And what happens is, because there's such a large number of them, all of those kids' scores get folded into the general population. So it's automatically going to bring the scores down. Not because they're not intelligent kids, but because they're struggling with the language.
Yeah.
There are towns where you don't have those kids, so their scores are not affected by that. So you have to sort of delve in a little deeper than just what's on the surface.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, clearly Phoebe and I are not going to send our kids to subpar schools. We're responsible parents. Our husbands are responsible parents. And, we did our research. And we're very happy with the result.
Right, and I think that, some people express a concern that they don't want their children associated maybe with that environment, thinking that that would bring down the general population, but it doesn't. I know in Watsessing, we had one of our principals come through where the children mentored other children. So
that's
they,
wonderful.
Yeah.
exactly, so they bring each other up. Nobody's bringing each other down. You're all bringing each other up. There's focus on the children who are doing well. There's focus on the children who aren't doing well. So there's a good sharing there. You don't have to worry about your child not getting resources because they're not doing well in this subgroup. Everybody gets the attention and they strive. They're those kids who are not going to test well, and they do eventually. I don't know if they catch up, but they strive in that environment. So. Yeah,
that's wonderful to hear because my daughter will be joining in those ranks soon. So
absolutely.
Thanks you guys for talking to me and hosting this on your lovely
And
porch.
it's finally spring.
Yay! Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you.